It's winter in Toronto, and I'm tucked away in my cozy basement apartment creating and drinking really big mugs of tea. I'm a 28-year-old artist who literally needs personal creative expression in this fast-paced world. And here's how I'm staying curious lately. I'm taking sketches out of my sketchbook and turning them into fabric art, which I can turn into patches. Let's pack an Etsy order. What? It just slipped away. Let's pack an Etsy order while I talk to you about the video and about upcycling and stuff. This is my third Etsy order I've gotten since my shop launch. Very exciting stuff. And it's so fun packing it up all cute in a way that will bring people joy and like creativity when they open it up. This will probably not be in focus, but let's pick a scrapbook souvenir. I'm just gonna pick this one. Let's pick a couple freebie prints to go with the order. I have these like tiny prints basically. So I've been doing some upcycling. Finally got my sewing machine back from getting fixed. So I can basically only do a straight stitch right now. I used to add a lot of my patches on with upcycling with zigzag stitches, but I can only do straight. I made a couple new upcycle patch shirts. I usually will add like my art onto patches, or I'll like thrift for cool fabrics and then I'll turn those into patches. We went to Valley Village the other day and I got a couple things for upcycling. I like to go every now and then, pick out a few little pieces and have like a bit of an inventory that I can work with. I also found this like leather jacket and I ended up getting it because it made me feel like I was in a movie or something. I found some other stuff for like this little area because I've been wanting to kind of organize a little bit. So I found this really cute box. It's like just like a wallpapered like botanical box that I thought I could put some sewing things in, like my threads and stamps. And I found some really cute ribbons. This is the little thank you card. I'm gonna put it on the front here like this. I love it because it's like this little bunny is delivering you this cute little ephemera snail mail package. Whenever I see like a green shirt, I need to buy it for putting a tomato patch on it. The green shirts and the tomato patches, they go so well together. Here's the final little package. Looks so cute. And I just ship it out in an envelope like so. Yeah, my plan is basically to upcycle some pieces to sell. If you're interested in stamp work and patchwork and stuff, the last time I made an upcycling video was in the summertime. And I was also upcycling and selling, and I added some like little details about how to do stamp work and like patchwork. I forgot to iron it. Ugh. Let's figure out the right process for painting directly on this very thin fabric together. I thrifted it from Valley Village. It's the perfect canvas color. And I started by doing a bit of pencil sketches, going straight onto the white blank canvas with black ink or paint. I was like a little bit scared. When painting on fabric, I mix this fabric medium with the acrylic paint that I have. And the process of painting straight on fabric like this is not smooth. The paintbrush does not run smooth. So I was feeling like I was on the struggle bus a little bit. I wanted to figure out a way to do shadows. So I started doing all this like black paint and I was just like, this is not it. We're not getting any closer. Until I discovered about watering down the paint, and then I would use the really watery paint for the shadows and the more opaque paint for the lines. And it got really inspired by this kind of ink look that was appearing. After a little bit of a rough start and some experimentation, I fell into a groove. I turned off the camera, I turned up the music. I was going through my sketchbook and basically just drawing any inspiration that I came across, filling up as much of the canvas as I could. I started getting creative by using what was already built into the fabric, like the cutouts, into my art, and this combination just looks so nice, and I know it's gonna look so cute on clothing as well. Morning, or good 3 p.m. I'm just eating some cereal in a mug. We've done so much organizing at the house, which is really nice. I organized my whole art area. So before I get into the upcycling, the stamp work for today, I gotta clean up this desk of doing some scrapbooking that I was doing yesterday. I've been doing a lot of stuff in my sketchbook and my scrapbook lately, which has been really nice. I'm trying to go on my phone less, and that time just ends up getting filled with creative things, which I love. So I find it so fun, like, putting everything away, because everything has a spot, which if you are somebody who has like a small space, is really ideal to have like a spot for everything and have like stations for everything, and then an empty desk where you can pull it out. More stuff. Let's get into some stamping now. When you're stamping on fabric, you want to place down a few different fabrics before you even start. It's because when you're pressing the ink into the fabric, you want it to have some like bounce, so it really gets pushed in. So I usually start with my first towel to protect the desk, and then I'll put some kind of a fabric down, like a thick fabric, and then I'll put my t-shirt on, an old t-shirt on top, to just protect from any ink. I've created quite a few stamps at this point, a lot of small ones, some medium ones. I'm excited to try making some bigger ones at some point. But the bigger the stamp, the more effort it is to put it onto the fabric. And whenever I watch videos of people stamp making, it looks so easy breezy beautiful, but the reality is it hurts your wrist and it's quite tedious. On a stamp about the size of this tomato, I'll usually start by doing a quick pressure all over the stamp to make sure that the ink has touched the fabric everywhere. And then I'll spend a good 10 seconds pushing down on the center, on the right, and then on the left. And then just before I pull it up, I'll make sure to press around the edges. And that usually will get me a good stamp. With the smaller ones like this mushroom, it's obviously a little bit quicker. You just gotta push down once for like 10 seconds. It can be so satisfying when it works out well and you got the right balance of ink for your stamp. Yay, we did it! I completed all the stamping. It's kind of a tedious task in a way, but I just watched some YouTube videos and I'm left with these sheets of canvas that I can then cut up into stamps, which I either will place onto clothes or I can also just sell like stamps on their own for people to put their own stamps on clothes. So we got 1, 2. I really like the tomato patch, and once they started like going proper, I like did a whole bunch. It's always tricky sometimes to get the hang of the ink and like how much you're gonna need to make it look good. I got the hang of the black ink here over time, even though I've used it before. It can be tricky to get it to be doing the print that you want exactly. The black ink, like I had to put so much more ink and hold it down for so much longer for it to look as good as the red one looked like right away. So I'm just gonna let these dry for like a day or so. I find doing all the stamping and painting in one go very helpful because once you get around to the upcycling portion, it just goes a lot smoother. You're not like shifting between processes. And even if you're not upcycling a bunch of stuff like I'm trying to, you can still have like different options of patches to work with once you're looking at your piece of clothing that you're gonna upcycle. Now that I have all my stamps and all of my painted fabric, I'll be able to cut it all up into patches and then kind of mix and match on the clothing to see what will look good. You never really know if something you drew out will look good on a wearable piece of clothing, just because it has like a different vibe when you're walking around and wearing something. It also takes the pressure off and it makes the whole process feel more like playful when you have all these patches that you can mix and match and just experiment with. Maybe that's why I like scrapbooking so much, because it's kind of a similar process. You're taking all these external things and you're putting them on a page instead of starting just with a blank page. In the next art log, I'll definitely be putting all of these patches onto clothing. But my creative practice is always evolving and I'm always experimenting with different mediums, and I'm excited to share these different explorations with you. Thanks so much for hanging out with me while we made these patches. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell if you want to stick around for the next adventure.